Welcome to Art of. Today we will create a speed effect and achieve a dramatic look using an unusual curves adjustment technique. Ready? Let's go! The first step is to duplicate the background layer, which I will rename Base. Then I will use the Object Select tool to separate the train from the background. As we can see, the train is already selected, so just duplicate the selection from the base layer. Still, the selection should be refined, so I will set a mask on the train layer and paint over the unwanted areas with a black brush to remove them. Once the refining is done, apply the mask to the train layer. Let's go back to the base layer and transform it into a smart object. To create that high-speed effect or motion blur, we will use the radial blur filter on the base layer. I will set the amount to 100, the blur method to zoom, and the quality to best. Then I will change the position of the blur center, aligning it with the background based on the leading lines in the photo. Click OK. I will add more motion by applying the same effect to the train layer. Let's rename the layer Train, then duplicate it by pressing Ctrl+J on Windows, or Command+J on Mac. I will rename the new layer Train Blur and transform it into a smart object. Let's apply the radial effect again. If I was not accurate with the position of the center of the blur, this might happen to you too. Let's go back and set the train blur layer to the left edge. This action ensures that the center of the blur is at the left edge. Now, apply the radial blur and set the blur center to the left edge. Once done, set it back to its initial position. Time to use a gradient on the mask to reveal the sharp areas. Let's create even more speed effects, which will allow us to hide those imperfections on the roof of the train. The selection of the train was not accurate, and these imperfections are more obvious in the highlights. Set all the layers that we created in a group and rename it Train Blur 1. Duplicate the group and transform it into a smart object. Once again, we will apply a radial blur on it. Once the blur is set, use a gradient on the mask. Keep the effect on some parts where we can see the harsh edges. It looks better now. Again, set all that we created in a group and rename it Train Speed. Using an unusual curve adjustment technique, we will make the photo more dramatic and artistic. Create a curve adjustment layer, then decrease the midtones to darken the image. Set the curve adjustment layer to Luminosity Blend Mode. Go to the Mask Properties and open the Color Ranges panel. Improve the shadows selectively by setting the fuzziness to 56 and the range to 116. Then feather the mask by 38 pixels. Create a new curve and this time do the same but with highlights. Set those curve layers into a group and rename it Lights. Finally, apply some color. If you're still here, I will be so glad if you subscribe, as this will encourage me to upload more videos. You're welcome to check my previous videos too. Now, let's apply a color lookup adjustment layer. Pick the tint mood you like. I will choose a warm look. The fall color look. Here is the before and after. As always, may we meet again.